My name is Yolanda, and I am known as Yo, the virtual bookkeeper at Osborne Virtual Solutions. And thank you for joining me today. We are going to be talking about bookkeeping must knows. This is for new business owners that either know a little bit about bookkeeping or not sure to get their bookkeeping started. And so we're going to talk about the very basics and just talk about the things that you must know so that you can get going. And we're going to continue to do a series of bookkeeping so that you can get familiar with the bookkeeping process and understand why bookkeeping is important for your business. So let me put the disclaimer out there. I am not a CPA. I am a virtual bookkeeper. I do have credentials, but this information that I'm providing is just to give you tips and also advice that I've during my business during the time of me being in business. So let's start with what is bookkeeping. So I have a definition that I'm gonna read it to you. Is the process of tracking your business income, expenses, and investments. So basically, in simple terms, it's the way of tracking what you got coming in and going out. And there's a process with it. So the next thing we want to talk about is why is bookkeeping important? So because you have a business now, you do have to be able to know how much it's going to cost you to do business, to stay in business. And you also need to know how much money you're making. That's the whole point of going in business, is to make money, right? So bookkeeping is a way for you to be organized and to know certain things that you need to know in order to grow. If you're looking to get business loans or possibly bring in investors, there is a certain amount of data that they want to see to make sure that your business is a profitable business, and that starts with bookkeeping. So that's why it's very important. Another reason why it's important is because if you're wanting to be able to take advantage of the tax deductions that you hear about, well, that starts with your bookkeeping. That information just can't come out of the blue. You have to have a blueprint and documentation to show that your business is actually having these type of transactions, and that's why you deserve to have those write-offs. So the next thing we're going to talk about is essentials that you need for business success when it comes to bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is definitely a mindset. When you are doing it yourself, if you're delegating it, then that's different. But if you're just starting and you're not in a position to hire, you have to create a routine to where you're being responsible to make sure that you know what's coming in and what's going out. And you can do that in many different ways. And it's basically making a decision to be responsible. I hear a lot more about the IRS doing more audits on small businesses because there are more small businesses than there ever been. They do business, but they're not doing it the correct way. So it could kind of look scamish, or you just out here saying you're a business, but you're really not a business. So bookkeeping is what establishes and sets the foundation for your business to actually look like a business to people on the outside looking in, wanting to help you. The other thing is the strategy. The strategy could be you're doing it yourself or you're hiring somebody to do it. If bookkeeping is not your business, then you definitely should consider to delegate it, because that's more time that's going to be taken away from other things that you could be doing in your business. So let's say, for example, if you're a boutique owner trying to keep up with inventory, you're just in customer service, you are just trying to do everything that you normally would. Well, guess what? If you're doing it yourself, that's another added task that you got to worry about. So I understand when you're just starting out, you can't just immediately hire people. I get that. But the plan is to definitely hire or delegate to someone that can take on that task. So the other thing is that we want to talk about how bookkeeping will help your business. So just to reiterate, bookkeeping is the foundation of your business data. All right. And so what that does, it established and organized a routine with financial record recording. So whether if you decide to do it once a week or once every 2 weeks or once a month, that's possible. Depending on how many transactions that you have coming in, you could definitely do it once a month. But if you're just starting out, I would recommend do it on a weekly basis until you get comfortable to where you can do it once a month. but you definitely want to keep up with it no later than once a month, because you want to make sure that you are reconciliation. And what that is that you're making sure that your bank transactions match up with the transactions that you say that your business are incurring. And you can do that if you're using an accounting software, or if you have a journal, you can do it that way. And so when it comes time to do your taxes, you will know for certain the transactions that you've incurred throughout the year for your business. You can actually get those deductions because you have proof that it actually occurred. Also, it will position you for future funding opportunities. So say for example, if you are looking to get a business loan, well, if depending on where you're getting the loan from, if you're getting it through the bank is going to require definitely certain documentations. And they do have a criteria where some require you to be in business at least 2 years. And then they're also going to want to see your, it's called profit and loss statement, or your tax return, or they may request both. So you can't get around not having bookkeeping if you don't have the data to support it. Also, when you are applying, when you're applying for grants, they also have a criteria, and they also require certain documentation. And for the standard, most people request a profit and loss statement. And if you're not familiar with what a profit and loss statement is, it is a statement that basically lists all of your transactions, but basically all of your deductions that you incur in your business, or all your transactions, whether how much income you have coming in, how much you're spending. It shows all that. It's basically like a blueprint for a person to see what's coming in and what's going out. Also, the reason why bookkeeping will help your business, it helps you stay compliant with the IRS. It helps you look like you're legit and compliant. So one thing you don't want to do is be out here getting this money and you're not doing due diligence. With anything allowed, there are going to be rules and regulations, and one of them is you do have to file taxes on your income that you receive. And so if you're not doing it, then guess what? You're going to get a letter. And one way or the other, they're going to get the money. And how do they know you're getting money? Because the people you're doing business with is reporting that they're doing business with you. So that's how they know what you're receiving. That's how they know that you are getting money. Because that thing called the EIN, well, that's a business social security number, might as well say. So whatever is being reported, they're expecting you to report the same. So it's like you being honest. So the goal is to stay compliant, that you can continue to get the money or chase the bag or whatever your goal is, so that you're not having to be fined, and then you got to go out of business because you can't afford the fines. And guess what? You still have to pay that money back. All right, and then tax advantages. You can take a great deal of advantage of the tax advantages if you have bookkeeping in place, because when you are doing what's called tax planning, it helps you be able to know how much money you have coming in at that time. But your CPA or your tax strategist will go over with you ways that you can spend some of your money and get additional tax write-offs, which lowers your tax liability. And that's the whole game. That's how you don't have to pay a lot of tax. You're spending the money within your business, but it's for business. And so the more you do that, the more of the tax advantages that you get to incur when it comes time to paying your taxes. So one thing that you can do today, and it's free, you can go on the IRS website and you can print out the form Schedule C. On that form, it shows you the deductions that you can take for your business. And so if you get this form, it gives you an idea of what you need to make sure you're tracking for certain. If you're doing it yourself, this is if you're doing it yourself, you need to make sure that you're tracking those items, so when it comes tax time, you'll already have things organizing in place where you can see your tax preparer or your CPA can see that you are, or that you have incurred these transactions, and it helps you out to get more tax advantages that your business is allowed. So that's the whole key point. Again, it is called a Schedule C, and it's located on the IRS website. And this is the same form that is printed out when you get your taxes done. When your tax preparer does your taxes, it's a form that's in the mix of your your other forms called a Schedule C. And it's a list of the different items that the IRS will allow you to take deductions or tax credits for if you are actually spending money on those type of things. That's all that I have for today. We will go more into bookkeeping strategy. Talk with you later. Bye.